I will.
Hey guys, okay, so a question came up in one of our Facebook group, and it's actually a really good question. It's something a lot of people have been asking locally, and I've pondered myself. The roller wheels from the RadioMaster TX16, will it work in the Jumper T16 and T18? So today I want to see if it does it and what kind of mods it might require to do so, because the metal roller wheel is a little nicer. So here we go.
Like always, if this video you find it useful and helpful, hit that subscribe button and be sure to support Grayson Hobby. If it's pack of props, batteries, quad, everything. Everything ships from right here, right? Mm-hmm. Located right outside Atlanta, Georgia. It's usually about 2 days to the entire east coast of the country.
Also check out our Facebook group with a lot of tech support, help, stuff like that. We got a pretty good little community.
Yeah, everybody's helping each other out.
Everybody's been really good, very helpful in it. So looking at this, there's 3 different ways of modding this part to fit in. One, you can shave down the sides here and here.
That's the most difficult.
Which is not recommended in my opinion, because if you screw up, it's going to look like really crappy on the outside. 2, you can trim down this button right here. If your button is sticking, if you're getting the stuck error, you can shave this down. Again, I don't recommend it because you're permanently modifying the button. Or 3, add shims between the board and the mount, which is going to be, in my opinion, the best modification, but it'll also
not void any warranty.
Yeah, it won't void any warranty. So
Bill is taking apart his jumper, his original jumper, and we're going to see if the RadioMaster wheel from the T16S, which is metal.
It looks like it's actually slightly larger diameter.
We think it may fit, but
so the only way to know, the T16 and the T18 share the same roller wheel. So
alright, so Will is taking apart his T16.
As you guys see, I still have a T16 from Jumper.
So you have a T16 from Jumper, and we're going to see if the RadioMaster T16 wheel fits in there. Very confusing for me.
This is the backside of my jumper, so you've seen it
Jumper
right
T16,
here.
Okay.
As you see, the original ribbons, by the way. So what I had to do here with the 3 screws, there's 3 screws to remove the board out for the roller wheel, as you've seen in our prior videos on replacing parts. In order to do it, there is a slight difference in the way it's mounted. So if you just take the 3 screws out, swap the part, and then put it back in, you're going to run into the problem the button is stuck. I'm going to go ahead and take this off to show you guys what I'm talking about here. So basically, the actual roller wheel is very close dimensionally, but what I found is, for some reason or another, I think this might be a little bit thicker and it catches somewhere, so it puts pressure on this lower button here. So basically, you may or may not run into this issue depending on, I think there's actually different batches of this button. Some are shorter, some are taller. If you run into the issue where the button is compressed down, you can, I don't know if you can hear in the video the actual clicking. You can see it there. But if it's, when you screw the 3 screws down, if it's stuck down, what you have to do is put a shim of some sort. Okay. And here's the lower. Shim you use, this is the lower screw. I just use an O-ring to try it.
Let me see. Put in your hand.
Realistically, you're going to want to use a shim of the desired height.
Okay, because that's what we use that because that's what was laying around.
Yeah, this is an O-ring I had from a diatone stack, but I would probably recommend using a hard plastic shim if possible. That way, it doesn't deteriorate, change, and then you have a button stick issue in the future. But basically, all you need to do if you're running into an issue of a stuck key error, then you need to either put a plastic washer or an O-ring of some sort to shim out and raise the height of this lower post. So the board is going to sit, if this was where it's mounted, it's going to sit up higher. And that's all I had to do on that. Depending on your radio, if you over tighten it in the past, stuff like that, you may need to shim the top as well. But basically, you're checking to make sure the wheel's not rubbing on these inner races right here. These 2 spots right here, you don't want the wheel rubbing on that, and you don't want the button being forced compressed.
So just with that modification,
just with that,
you were able to get it to work.
All I was able to do was get it to work, yes.
All right, so to answer the question.
So I'm going to say,
will the jumper...
So basically, if someone asks me that question again, I'm going to say yes, it does, but it does require minor adjustments. So at the end of the day, you either need to shim the board to make this farther out, or if you guys want to do it, you can actually shave down that button a little bit if you're having issues. But I would rather add shims than take away material from the button.
Perfect.
So with the modification of the shim on the bottom side, I have roller function. We go model select, look at that.
Look at what? Oh, here we go.
Sorry, I'm trying to look down.
So how does it feel? Does it feel the same? Yeah, it looks. I see it moving around.
Yeah.
I know some people talked about the old radios that it wasn't really. That we kind of skip around. That was a firmware update, though, right? Yeah, that was a firmware.
Yeah.
It wasn't mechanical. It was a software.
It doesn't change. I mean, it's got grip. So basically, with the addition on this particular radio, because of the height, if you have like M2, probably M2.5 washers, you may have to put a couple washers between the board and the frame or the casing to shim it properly. Because if you have it too tight, if it's too close, the button gets pushed and then it gets stuck and it won't do anything.
All right.